Attack of the Clones introduced us to tons of excellent ships, and the subject of today's video is one of the sleekest and most stylish in the entire galaxy. I'm Joey from Radio Free Coruscant, and this is the H-type Nubian Yacht. Design. The Theed Palace Space Vessel Engineering Corps H-type Nubian Yacht was a beautifully simple design. It had a long, roughly conical chromium-plated hull with a bulge for its cockpit and upper deck on the top, and a pair of engines on the bottom. The ship also had 3 thin fins at the rear, but that's about it in terms of external features. At least visible ones, anyway. It also had 3 spindly landing gear and a boarding ramp that all fit flush with the hull in flight. The forward gear was located in the nose, and the rear gear were actually housed in the engine nacelles and rotated out and backwards to provide a more stable landing footprint. The boarding ramp was located at the rear, just a bit behind the engines. This, of course, led to the ship's densely packed interior. The boarding vestibule also functioned as an airlock, and had doors to a storage room on the right side of the ship, and an astromech droid hold on the left. The forward door led into the ship's 2 engineering compartments, which ran about a quarter of the length of the ship. The forward compartment looks like it could probably also double as passenger seating, but I'm not sure if that was the case or not. Finally, at the front of the ship was its main cabin, which contained both a throne for speaking to guests and a handcrafted Naboo bed for the owner of the vessel to sleep in. This cabin contained access to a forward maintenance crawlway, but was otherwise the furthest forward room on the ship. More importantly, though, it also functioned as a luxury escape pod, and could be ejected from the rest of the ship via explosive bolts in an emergency. Going back to the rear engineering compartment, we also find a turbolift to the upper deck. This takes us directly to the cockpit, where the ship can be controlled by 2 pilots. Behind the cockpit were the crew quarters with 2 bunk beds, and behind the bunks were the ship's galley and refresher, with the main reactor located between them, probably providing no shortage of hot water for cooking or showering. In-universe, the H-type was designed by the engineers and artisans of the Theed Palace Space Vessel Engineering Corps. However, in real life, it was designed by Doug Chiang for Attack of the Clones, and was meant to invoke the image of a classic rocket ship from retro sci-fi. Specifications. The H-type yacht measured 47.9 meters long by 8.1 meters wide and 7.1 meters tall. It was one of the fastest ships in the galaxy in terms of atmospheric flight, with a top speed of 2,000 kilometers per hour, or just over 1,200 miles per hour, and a maximum acceleration of 2,800 Gs. Its hyperdrive was faster than most other vessels as well, with a rating of Class 0.9 and a range of 20,000 light-years. It was unarmed, but equipped with an emergency particle flare launcher for defense against enemy missiles. The ship was designed for a crew of 4 organics, a pilot, co-pilot, navigator, and communications officer or shield operator, as well as 2 astromech droids. It could be operated by as little as 1 pilot and 1 astromech if necessary, though. In addition to the crew, the H-type could also carry 8 passengers, 75 tons of cargo, and 2 months of consumables. And of course, due to its luxurious design, it came in at a cost of 800,000 credits. History. Sadly, not much is known of the history of the H-type, as there were very few of them built, and most never ended up in any noteworthy situations. It was created for the Royal House of Naboo as a complement to their larger vessels, intended for use in quick getaways, both metaphorical and literal. It was in service at least as early as 22 BBY, when Queen Jamilia assigned one to Senator Padme Amidala after the latter's royal cruiser was destroyed in an assassination attempt. She took this ship to Tatooine to help Anakin Skywalker look for his mother, and then to Geonosis to rescue Obi-Wan Kenobi. She continued to use the ship until the Battle of the Kaleida Nebula later that year, when she was tricked into traveling to the battle by Palpatine and was captured by General Grievous aboard his flagship, the Malevolence. She set the ship to self-destruct in an attempt to prevent Grievous from fleeing the crashing Malevolence, though this was unsuccessful. Padme was then given another H-type, which did not survive to see the end of the year either, as it was accidentally destroyed by Jar Jar Binks on Rhodia. Miraculously, Padme managed to acquire a third H-type yacht, which she used to travel back home to Naboo during a separatist bioweapon scare. Though it's possible that this ship belonged to Jar Jar instead. As the junior representative of Naboo, he was also given an H-type, the Hayblibber Duck. He traveled to Naboo with Padme for the Blue Shadow virus crisis, so perhaps the H-type seen here was the Duck. At some point during the Clone Wars, he used this ship to travel to the planet Urubai for a meeting with its ambassador, and during the events of Operation Nightfall, he lent the ship to Jedi Kelleran Beck, whom he had met on the mission to Urubai. Beck rescued Jedi youngling Grogu from Order 66 and fled the planet with him aboard the Hayblibber Duck. This is currently the last time we have seen an H-type yacht, but I'm sure one will turn up again somewhere eventually. And that's everything there is to know about the Naboo H-type Nubian Yacht. Please let me know what you think of this ship, and what your favorite of the several Naboo Royal Yachts is, or what other luxury ships you prefer if you don't care for the chrome look. I've made a few videos on the best ships for rich people, businessmen, or politicians that you could watch next if you want some suggestions. But anyway, thank you for watching, and I will see you next week. RFC, out.